And I couldn't help but notice how it felt like he was offering a startling amount of cover to kind of Zionism and Israel and the whole nine yards. I mean, there was all this discussion about Rahm Emanuel, but not actually, I mean, I didn't see the whole thing, I only saw the second half, but it, you know, where was the discussion about, you know, how he was in the IDF and all that stuff, and I was just a little surprised. In terms of the overall assessment of Barack Obama, I think he's, you know, he's a front man, you know, and I think he got that pretty right.
I think that you know, you're bringing it to my attention, and I think I was so taken by the film itself that I didn't even see that. But I just remember being like, you know, one of the first blinking red lights for me was his Obama's silence on the Gaza situation. You know, as compared to his being vocal on the wrong side of the argument about Georgia and Russia. You know, he was completely lying and ridiculous about it, but absolute silence. So.
And the film doesn't mention that.
It doesn't say anything about that. You're absolutely right.
Right, it didn't mention Gaza at all, yeah.
So there's also something that has absolutely come up about Alex Jones in terms of this on the internet and other, you know, I understand the ADL has fired off against Alex Jones. So he's come under some criticism by the Zionist element, and yet you're absolutely right. This just seems to be kind of absent throughout.
Well, maybe absent in that film, but if you recall the film called, what was the one that Jason Burmis did? The 9/11 one, the one he recently did. What was it called? Do you remember? Fabled Enemies, yeah. Fabled Enemies. Alex Jones produced that film, and it devotes nearly half of the film time talking about the Israeli intelligence ties to 9/11.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same argument we have against Amy Goodman. In a sense, well, maybe she's not, you know, talking about the 9/11 thing because, you know, of her concerns for other elements, and it's the Noam Chomsky. Well, it really didn't matter who did 9/11, you know, and because of his ties maybe to MIT or his, you know, so.
Yeah, the brother. You guys know Brother Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wrote an article about Alex Jones and how he.
He was pretty critical.
He's pretty critical about him not criticizing Israel. And then Rentz, he got a call from, because Rentz put it on his website, and then Alex Jones called Rentz and told him to take it off or he's going to do something to his family. So. And that's why Rentz was taken off of GCN.
GCN.
Yeah.
Guerrilla News Network.
No, it's not.
Genesis Communication.
Yeah.
Genesis Communication, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of hard to put everybody who has some kind of evil behind Obama because there's so much back there. I mean, it's not just Zionism. I mean, it's everything. I mean, I don't know.
I think that's a crucial point, especially today. I think this is quintessential. You know, I think it's as much a part of the argument as 9/11. And really, thanks for bringing that up. Because when you, let's just take just what's happened over the past couple of months. Look at what's happened to Gaza. Look what's happening to our country. Look what's happening to the world. Look at that. We are right in the middle of the Davos, the anti-racist racism summit conference, and our country with the black president doesn't show up at this. Not only that, rewrites the rules for this, taking out any mention of Israel being what Israel is, and also I think he did some damage to African Americans as well. But so I think that the failure to take a look at Zionism, especially in a critical film like this, is like a really big peg missing.
I mean, in particular, Rahm Emanuel, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, his dad was a terrorist. I realize, and the beginning of Israel, like bombed houses and shot up crowds and stuff, and blamed it on, you know, to foment the whole justification for the crackdown and the oppression of the Palestinian people. So I mean, I get it.
I mean, just even on, we took the little field trip down to Eugene, and just the pressure that's coming to bear against the Pacifica Forum for daring to cross the Zionist lobby, basically. I mean, it's like, wow. It extends right into, I couldn't believe when we were down in Eugene, and the only 3 U of O students who appear to have attended were all from Hillel, all like there to like put pressure on this group and try to kick them out, basically. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's weird, and the complaint I have about Alex Jones and like his kind of generalizing the New World Order globalist elitists is that it kind of felt a little bit like, once again, abstracting the people out a little bit too much. It was just being too abstract. The bankers, he didn't name the bankers. Which bankers are we talking about? It's not all bankers, It's like, so, I don't know. I hate how this issue like runs around all these different other issues, and like,
I want to say one other thing about Rahm Emanuel.
Sure.
He was kicked out of the Clinton White House, wasn't he, for being a suspected Israeli mole?
Mega.
Yes.
Mega.
Yes.
I believe
Mega.
yes. I believe
Yes.
it is. Yes. This is really big, and it's very interesting that it was missing. And it's really interesting that I missed it, because I'm so captivated with, yes, that is exactly what's happening with Obama.
And they also didn't have the birth certificate thing.
Right,
That's
they didn't
correct.
talk about the birth certificate thing. And although they did show what his cousin, who doesn't look anything like him, I can't help but notice that, Ondinga, that guy, it's like, there's this big round face, totally different than Obama's face. It's like, I don't think he's Kenyan at all, personally.
This is the second time I've seen the film, but when I first saw it, there was something that I thought that Alex Jones would have added or been more inclusive. Was 3 days into Obama's administration, he's condoning drone missile attacks in Pakistan.
Right.
Yeah, and it's an ongoing thing. I mean, we've killed 500 of those people since this previous summer, and then 4 days into his administration, he's on TV pulling a Bush. I mean, he's justifying, the condoning the actions. Yeah, I know about it, blah, blah, blah. And it's so transparent that they were Bush and Obama were like in a relay, like they didn't even slow down any of the tyranny and oppression, just like handed that baton off, and Obama was just on it, It was just, that was one thing that I thought that Jones could have covered personally.
Right.
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 But I mean, there's so much.
There is a lot, but the
Yeah.
tie-in there is the ongoing war against Muslims, and how once again that ties into kind of the Zionist agenda. Let's keep killing Muslims, and we'll do it in Pakistan, we'll do it in Afghanistan, we'll do it in Iran, we'll do it in Sudan, we'll do it wherever.
All of our conflicts post 9/11, I totally agree, have been very, very beneficial for Israel. I mean, it's the best. 9/11 is the best thing that could have happened for them. I mean, I don't know if it's an accident, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't like to theorize. I mean, I definitely feel, my own personal feelings is that Israeli intelligence was involved, but so was a few other agencies. Some here, I believe. But I mean, just because, you look at who we invaded and occupied. I mean, they're all, enemies of Israel. I mean, it's like we're being drafted as shock troops with emotionality to carry out the will of that particular state. It's very odd.
It is very odd.
I'm not so sure what real differences there are between the United States and Israel.